whatever the down payment they're willing to put down. So it's either you put the down payment and give the extra $250 to them, in essence, because you're not charging it to them, or you can collect $250 a month. It's up to you. And if you really just want to assign it and you've got somebody willing to pay $250 a month more, it's okay, we'll do the doxing. And we'll take the $250 if you really want to give it to us. We'll stand in the middle. Absolutely.
How does this fit with title companies and escrow companies and so forth that we normally work with in California?
I will tell you that we close a lot in California. We do it at our office, actually. And we have attorneys here that assist us with those, and we have title companies here that assist us with those. There are some title companies that don't understand this. There are obviously, like everything else, they're attorneys. Most of the attorneys don't know what this is. I had an attorney call me today and say, subject 2 is illegal, isn't it? It's like, well, if you will go to my website, you will see a 3-page legal opinion with citations, and you know what? We even made it easy for you. We link to the law, damn it! You know, every citation has a link. Go read it yourself.
So Texas is 49 days to get somebody out. California?
42.
42?
We very seldom hit 42. We do cash for keys.
Texas a mortgage state?
No, it's a deed of trust state. Yep. So we're good at this. This is basically almost all we do, anything real estate related. If you've got a divorce that you need handled, I can't help you. I've been married for 32 years. I've never been through it. I used to handle divorces in Washington State, and I don't handle divorces anymore. I don't do it in Texas or any other state. The best advice I could give you is if you've had a divorce, as one of my clients once said, I'm not going through another divorce. As he was going through his 3rd divorce, I'm just going to find a woman I don't like and buy her a house. It would be cheaper. So we put all of this into a package of multimedia services called the Ring of Excellence Retainer Program. I will tell you that we have become very selective with our clientele. We would love to answer your question if you have it, but if you're not already a client, we're probably not going to be able to answer just questions. Okay, we have one person. Now we have 1.5 people that do nothing but answer questions for people who have already closed with us and have been with our firm. So we call it the Ring of Excellence Program. If you're to go to another attorney who doesn't do this on a regular basis, or worse, doesn't do it at all, or went to a title company who claims to do this but doesn't have the experience, you're going to spend a lot of money training the attorney or the title company with no guarantee your deal is going to get done. We do probably 95–96% of the people that get things under contract ultimately close, because we figure it out.
You have clients that are doing deals in states they don't live in, and they're still working through you, and it's all.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't look at any house that I'm buying. I've looked at enough houses.
Same here.
I have no, you'll let me take it over the loan? Great. Would you do me a favor? Would you put a sign in the yard and a lockbox on it for me?
Yeah.
Okay. What city were you in again? Craigslist? Okay. Absolutely. I've looked at far too many houses. I don't need to look at them. And quite frankly, I don't actually look at anything that is less than a 5-house deal. I don't do onesies and twosies anymore. Mostly these are investors who have passed away, and their widow comes and says, I don't want to do this, what can I do? I said, well, do you like the income that you were getting from these rentals? Yeah. How about if I pay you that income for the rest of your life? And, oh, okay. Okay? Or you could get bad advice. We've put together this program. It gives you priority access without charge to our office to get your questions answered. It's a retainer program. Continued access to the standard master agreement. Those of you that have issues with the contract, we've recorded a 3-hour, God, it's boring. Well, I try to make it not as boring, but it's 3 hours of how to fill out the contract. And we start with things like, okay, on the first line where it says seller, That's the person who's selling the house. If it's a husband and wife, please put both names. If you have the deed, try and get as close as you can to the spelling on the deed. Okay? The Rodeo Roundup download. We have 13 approximately 1-hour downloads and about a 200-page manual. What we did was we called it our Rodeo Roundup, and we spent 3 days with investors in San Antonio talking about this in great detail. They know all about this. Actually, it wasn't just San Antonio investors. They were from all over the country. But we did this very, very detailed. And we touched on things like marketing. We've got a very good person who talks about marketing, internet marketing, flyers, all that kind of thing. And we did it over 3 days, and then we distilled it down to 12 hours. We did actually go to the rodeo that night, a Saturday night. An attorney opinion letter on the legality of subject to investing, that's that 3-page letter. We have it available, and we can personalize it directly to you, so it looks like I wrote it to you. So that if you have someone who says, I want to talk to an attorney, here's what you'd say if you're part of our program. I want to talk to an attorney. You say, well, we have the national expert on this on retainer. If you like, I will set up an appointment with him, and you can ask him anything you want, and I'll pay for it. 90% of the time that's enough. They won't never call. The other 10% of the time, I will tell you, I've talked to about 200 sellers. I have yet to have a seller not sign a contract within an hour of talking to him. Okay? You've done the hard work. You've talked to them. I provide them with a little warm and fuzzy. And I say, are you ready to sign the contract? And they say yes. I talked to a guy the other day, without the investor being on the phone, and he said, well, damn it, I got to get a hold of Lene, because I'm ready to do this deal. I need to get this done. I got to get a hold of her. This is a seller who needs to get the investor to bring them the contract. That doesn't happen real often. Okay, he was ready. Okay, so we have that. The really, really good lender letter series. It's 3 different letters depending on which situation you're in. If it's an arrears, if it's not an arrears, or if you don't want to send any money. Now, I will tell you that that is only available to people who are Ring of Excellence folks. We have a white paper, rate sheets, and the scripts on the SAFE Act. We have a white paper on the MARS regulation. We'll review your materials for MARS regulation compliance, the truth in lending information, bi-weekly live info and Q&A calls. Okay, you can call. We have group calls, and they are live, and we've got a little screen that pops up where I'll talk about something, or we'll have somebody in to talk about something. We talked about installment sale taxation. We've talked about how to have your company buy your house, etc. And then we'll open it up for questions, and we'll have you hit like *5, and up on our screen will pop a little hand like this. If you want to put your hand up, hit *5. And then we'll unmute you, and you and I and all the folks will talk. We'll record those so they're available in the back room for you to listen to. We've got 2 really experienced investors to answer your questions. They are very practical. Okay, they'll tell you how it really is. You won't get a highfalutin answer from either one of them. Okay, an attorney to talk with reluctant sellers. I do that myself. We have full service closing services. We have title. We have a title company. We have all of that stuff. That's what you need. We have ebooks, webinars, teleseminars, recordings on the various issues of the day. Yes, sir.
Do you have a sense of what your average is between sellers who just say, I'm reluctant, I just as soon give it to a realtor, go through a short sale, be done with the whole thing, I don't want to do a subject to? Do you?
What we actually have is we have a way of convincing sellers what is in their best interest. They actually make the decision themselves, and we run down their options, and we have a program as to, okay, now you could list this with a realtor, but let's look at this. A realtor is going to list your house, what do you think it's going to list it for? Okay, well now there's the 6% commission, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, okay?
And the short sale doesn't.
And the short sale, now you know that a short sale is going to affect your credit. And you've had trouble selling this in the past, right? That's why you're talking to me. A short sale is going to affect your credit, and there is the possibility of a 1099. And remember, we still have to find someone to buy your house. I'm willing to buy your house for the loan, by taking over the loan. You're done with it now. You don't have to keep it clean so that people can walk through it. You don't have to worry about finding another buyer. You've already found one. Pretty cool. Okay? And we do that with bankruptcy and foreclosure and FSBO. Yes, you could sell this by yourself. You know, and we kind of tug at the heartstrings there. You know, with a FSBO, you have to be available for people to see the house when they want to see the house. You realize that, right? Yeah. Well, what if little Jimmy has a baseball game that night?
And the subject to does improve their credit when somebody's making the payments.
And sub 2 does improve their credit because I'm paying on your loan. In a year, if I've made payments for 12 months, is your credit score going up or going down? It's obviously got to go up. I mean, at least, or not down as far if you're really trashing everything else. So we charge $19.97 and $79 a month. Okay, that's what we charge. For those tonight, we have 2 additional bonuses. First is a digital copy of my new book, Protect and Defend. It's going to be out on, it's actually the 26th of July, and that is the cover. That's all I know. It's an ugly guy in the front of that one.
You
Okay.
have a hot lady there, so.
Yeah, I have a hot lady, yeah. Great. Gonna whack me. And, oh, by the way, all of the proceeds for that book, and the guy that was interviewing me, we did it through their agency. He is an Emmy award-winning producer. He produced a documentary called Jacob's Turn. Jacob's Turn is a documentary on an autistic boy who really, really wanted to play baseball and how the community responded and rallied around him. All of the proceeds of the sale of the book go to that foundation. Bonus 2, we're going to return $1,000 of your 1997 price on your first closing, and then an additional $1,000 on your second closing. If you're going to do this at all, if you're going to do 2 within the next 6 months, it's free. Okay? It's free. Again, if not now, when? Don't be one of the cold, timid souls. But know neither victory or defeat. Get in the arena, take control, and do something with your life and your family's security. That's what it includes.
How much is that? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How much is it, do you charge for closings?
Closings vary between $700 and $3,500 depending on what you're trying to do. Okay, $700 for a cash sale, not a big deal. The $3,500 closing, we had to charge that because it was a contract for deed in Oregon with liens on 3 other properties. Also involved a release of 1 lien, a reinstatement of 1 lien, and a subordination agreement. $1.2 million, yes, I know, that's why we got it. Okay, but man, that was a lot of work, okay? But yeah, that's...
There's a title policy on these?
Title policy would be extra on top of whatever the closing costs are because that depends on how much the house is, okay? The price for a $20,000 house to insure it is far less than a $2 million house. So that all varies.
So you just price your closing based on the amount of work that needs to be done, not
Yep.
necessarily the value of the house.
Exactly,
I think that's
absolutely.
what's in California, they just scale it up depending on the purchase price.
Well, we don't.
Question.
Yes.
So I'm not in this business.
Mhm.
With bulk and notes and things like that. Do you still offer similar, obviously not these services, but similar services? Because my team is in need of
Yep.
legal guidance.
We do.
But for something else.
In fact, before I walked in to the resort here, I was talking with a client who was selling buying and selling 49 notes. And we put that together, and we're doing that tomorrow. It's about an $800,000 transaction. It's his very first transaction. God, I hope he realizes that they're not gonna all be $800,000. He's only gonna make $100 grand on it. He's got a buyer at 800,000. He's gonna buy them for 680 or something like that.
You're leaving your contract.
Hmm?
You're leaving your contract.
I have a card later. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that you didn't like trust.
Mhm.
Here in California.
I don't like trusts for asset protection purposes.
Okay. It's my understanding, wherever that came from, that if you have a corporation as 10% of the beneficiaries, that you have some protection in a trust. An LLC in California costs you $800 a year. Trust costs you nothing.
Mhm.
Give us some advice.
Well, it depends on, it depends on a trust. The fact that there's a trust doesn't protect you. The fact that it's a corporation is what protects you. Okay, the corporation is protected against any personal liability. Protects you in that regard. Does that make sense?
Yes, but what I was saying was that
You're actually getting into another 2-hour presentation that I have. I could pull up, but
it's my understanding, actually from another lawyer,
okay.
that if you are 90% owner, 90% beneficiary of the trust, 10% corporation ownership of the trust, you're protected. Okay.
Well, you are to 10% worth of the liability. If that's what the corporation owns. Okay. Be very careful. Very careful with trusts. Trusts are a probate avoidance device. Okay. I have no problem having a corporation be the trustee. I have no problem with having the beneficiaries be corporations to assist there. But a trust is really a probate avoidance device.
I'm trying to get around that $800 a year each LLC that gets.
I understand.
You can do a Nevada LLC?
You can, but you're gonna have to pay it anyway.
California.
About all I could say there is, I'm sorry that you're in California.
Thank you. When you step outside the.
You have great weather. You have more cars on the road than we have in Texas. Okay. Yes, sir. Wait, we got one more question.
I am safe licensed.
You got $50? No, I mean,
I didn't hear you say anything here that I was going to get in trouble